Good morning, everyone. My morning always starts with a spectacular view of my twins. As soon as I open my eyes in the morning, they are already there, passing me my contact lenses to put on and get up. They are so smart and already know where their diapers are in the bathroom. So when I ask them for diapers, they run over there and grab them and bring them to me so I can change their diapers. Contrary to what I hear about toddlers refusing diaper changes, my twins love diaper changes, and when I tell them that it's their turn, they come running. Once I got ready, of course, we can't forget my phone. Grace has got that part covered. We headed downstairs where the twins went straight for their bikes while I start on breakfast. Today I'm actually trying something new for breakfast. Instead of their usual banana pancakes, I'm making pancakes with apples. Whenever I'm making something new, it does take me a little bit longer because I have to follow the recipe, so the twins got a little bit antsy towards the end and ran out of patience. Because of that, we had a very unconventional breakfast, and instead of waiting for the food to cool and sit in our high chairs to eat, I just gave them the pancakes as soon as they were cooked and cold enough to a safe temperature. They ended up spitting out some chunks of the pancakes and I stepped on them with my socks, so I cleaned up their mess while they're waiting on me to make coffee. After breakfast was done, they played with their toy strollers while I started prepping for dinner. Ray shared her toy shark with Kane and he was pretending that the shark was eating his finger. While I was busy prepping everything for dinner, Kane did what he usually does and just stand on my feet crying for me to pick him up. Of course, I can't pick him up on every demand, so he cried it out a little bit and intimidated Grace a bit until my hands freed up a bit to actually hold him. I tried my best to keep him entertained as well as continue cooking, but eventually I needed my hands free again. I redirected his attention to helping me pull a bowl out, but that didn't last for long and he started crying again as soon as I turned my back. Whenever I pick him up, of course, Grace gets a little jealous and wants to be held as well. So I put them on the couch and gave them a book to distract them for at least a little bit until I finish up cooking. I have a facial appointment this afternoon, so I needed to drop the kids off at my mom-in-law's house, but we couldn't find Grace's boots anywhere. And then we finally found them between the trash bins in the trash drawer. Apparently, Kane hid them there earlier. The best part is that when I asked where they are, he actually pointed at the trash. I just couldn't understand why he was pointing at the trash when I'm asking him for shoes. My skin is glowing after that facial, and my husband actually got me food, so I stopped by his office to pick that up on my way home. I prepared the stuffing for the peppers earlier, so once I got home, I just stuffed the peppers and threw them in the oven. While we wait for them to bake, I took the kids outside with me to take the dog out for a little walk. Back home, I brought the twins' bicycles out into the backyard so they could spend some time outside. So while they drove around in the backyard, I loaded up the dishwasher and took the trash out. Then they asked me to put them in the swing, so I managed to fit both of them into one swing. That way it's fair for the both of them. It was then time for lunch, so I brought the twins back inside and we all split the bowl that my husband got us for lunch. Lunch is so much fun with these two because they can get so goofy. While I was cleaning up after lunch, Grace went to play with her toys. Meanwhile, I found Kane in the dog crate. He spilled the dog water. Luckily, there wasn't too much in there. This little boy is such a troublemaker. I seriously cannot keep up with him. Since the damage was already done, I didn't make him get out or anything and just let him play it out. Of course, Grace had to join in on the fun as well. She is a little bit more scared of everything, so she couldn't necessarily handle all the fun Kane was having. She has such a fake cry I cannot handle. Hey, Kane, no. No. No fun ends without tears, so I had to get Kane out of the corner he placed himself, and that was the end of our dog crate adventure. I put on some worship music and we all just relaxed in the living room while listening to the music and having a little dance party. I love to share these little moments with my kids. We continued our worship session in the kitchen while I made a sauce for some noodles I was also cooking. This was a Friday and I always cook a few meals on Fridays for the weekend, so it's a pretty busy day for us. But that will not stop us from having a good time and being grateful. I love how much Kane wants his mama, but I'm also very grateful that at least Grace can play independently and doesn't need me every second of the day. The kids randomly wanted to use the potty, so I put them on it, and then while I finished up the noodles and gave the dog some fresh water, I ended up finding Kane on a chair across the other side of the house playing with a security keypad. I am telling you, not a day goes by without this boy causing some kind of trouble or getting himself into a dangerous situation. On Fridays, if I'm done cooking early, I usually give them a bath early as well. That way when dad comes home, he can actually spend time with them instead of waiting for me to bathe them, and then at that point they have to go to bed. While they're playing in the bath, I decided to open up the package I got from AliExpress that I ordered a month ago. It has a lot of their summer clothes, and we are leaving to Florida in about a week, so I wanted to make sure everything is here and got everything washed and folded. I got some really cute pieces for them and even got 2 sets for myself. Everything is headed into the laundry, and it's time to get the kids out of the bath and dressed. I love how they patiently just lay there and wait for one another to get dressed. This is again contrary to what I usually hear toddlers do. Usually people say they run around and do not want to lay in one spot. Once again, another reminder to never compare your kids to other kids. I've added another step to our bedtime routine. It is blow drying their hair, and they have been loving it. But apparently I forgot to rinse Grace's hair after I shampooed it, so I had to rinse it in the sink. No wonder it was so sticky while drying. I'd never have known if I didn't blow dry her hair. Now that we're finally clean and dry, I went to the laundry to start a load. I didn't have time to wash their bottles before bed, so I still needed to wash their bottles, so we went downstairs where they ate practically a whole pack of raspberries while I did that. Then they tried to make me drink their drinks, which I did pretend to, and kiss their hands. I still had some worship music playing in the background, and they love watching the music videos sometimes, so they watched those and played a little bit while I mopped all the floors. Then I cut one of the stuffed peppers in half so it could cool before I fed them, but once they were fed, they hung out with dad for a little bit while I prepared their bottles of milk.
Wow.
Usually as soon as they see the bottles, they run to the stairs so we can go to bed, but today, Kane did not want to go even after seeing the bottle and pacifier. He must have really missed dad. Before bed, we always brush our teeth, and I'll let them brush themselves at the end if they choose to. And yes, they will still drink their milk afterwards, but don't come at me with a there's no point to brush if they're having milk. They have multiple bottles through the night as well, and it's still better to brush than not at all. Like, what do you expect me to do? Brush after every single feeding? Anyways, thanks for watching. This is the end of our night. Now, me and dad are just gonna go have dinner and hang out. Good night.